In this video, I wanted to share my thoughts on using a Holset He351ve as a turbo upgrade or an aftermarket turbo for an import or a domestic for a turbo kit. First off, this turbo is massive, but it does have a VGT system, which does allow it to spool up very quickly. The turbine housing there, you can see, is a 25 cm, and it's just huge. In comparison to the .82 T3 turbine housing, it's massive, but this huge turbine housing does condense to a 5 cm all the way up to a 25 cm. Now earlier you saw the comparison of the compressor housing to an HX compressor housing, and they're about the same size. The biggest problem is trying to be able to control the VGT vanes. You can see this is the actuator. It's actually originally designed to be controlled with an electronic module. So with that said, it's really hard to be able to control it if you don't have a way to control that electronic module. The main point I want to make here is that if you cannot control the VGT vanes in this turbo for an import or a smaller vehicle, this turbo will be completely useless because it's going to take forever to spool up. But if you can control the vanes, this turbo would be an excellent turbo to be able to use for an aftermarket setup where you can control your spool. And another thing you need to keep in mind is that with the size of this turbo and the weight involved, it will put a ridiculous amount of stress on the exhaust manifold, which can cause it to crack much sooner than if you had a much smaller and much lighter turbocharger. Now the turbo that you see here is an upgraded version that we built. It does have a 67mm compressor and 67mm turbine. The compressor wheel originally in this turbo is a 60x86 HX40 compressor, and the turbine I think is a 58x65 turbine, which is specifically designed for the VGT system. We use a 67x70 turbine in these as an upgrade. Also keep in mind this turbo is about 50 pounds. Due to the size of this turbo and the complexity of making the VGT system work, I would not use this for a turbo upgrade option other than the original diesel it came off of. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and if you'd like for me to address other topics, please mention them below in the comment section.